Hey guys, Jason here, and welcome back to another Minecraft mod review. Today we're going to be reviewing the Mobs Gun mod by Big Room Tag on the Minecraft forums, and I gotta say, it's pretty crazy. So here we are in a flat world, and I guess we're going to terrorize this village here for a little bit with our mob guns. We have a lot. I gotta say, there's at least probably 20 to 30 guns in this mod, and they're all mob guns. So we're gonna go over all these and show you guys what they're all about. Real quick before we begin the mod showcase, hit that like button. Let's see if we can get 2,000 likes for this video. If we do, I will continue rolling out some more mod showcases for you guys. But other than that, let's begin. So first, we're going to go over just a bunch of passive, friendly type mobs. And that's going to be our first group. Our second group of mobs we're going to be going over are hostile. And then our third group, well, our third group's a surprise. It has some YouTubers in it and a few other cool ones. So let's get started here with the passive mobs. We got a pig gun. To craft the pig gun, it's just like this. And by the way, all guns are crafted in this formation. The only thing that changes is the middle item, and in this case, it's a raw pork chop because it's a pig. But in other gun cases, it'll be like beef or feathers if it's a chicken, and I'll show you guys as we go along. But yeah, first is the pig gun, and it requires pork chops to shoot after you craft it, and you gotta have them in your inventory. Of course, I'm in creative, so I don't need any of these any of these items to shoot these guns. But if you're in survival, you will. And the pig gun requires pork chop. So, and that's raw pork chop. So let's shoot it and see what it does to this villager guy here. I heard it does 4 damage. Yes, it does. It does 4 damage, so as you can see, it shoots out a little baby Jeffrey, and little baby Jeffrey will take people down with ease. So, yeah, that is the big gun. Moving on, we got the cow gun. This requires beef, and it does 5 damage. So, shoots out little baby cow. So, I think, whoa, they kind of explode, too, on impact. If they, I guess if they don't hit a mob, oh, I guess they, never mind. I guess they weren't shooting or exploding before. Oh, okay, so sometimes it'll explode. If it hits anything like a wall or the ground, you'll clearly see the explosion of, I guess, that texture of mob, or I guess pork chop. That's pork chop texture. And then here is the cow gun. When it explodes, you see beef. So that's pretty cool. Next up is the chicken gun. Get out of my face. Next is the chicken gun. It requires a feather to craft and requires feathers for ammo. And when you shoot it, it only does 2 damage, but it's more of like a smaller bullet. And I guess it's fun to shoot a little baby chicken. So, and when he explodes, there is no textures that fly or anything. I think he's too little for an explosion. Sup, chicken? Have a slime ball. Have a slime ball, chicken. Next is a sheep gun, which is a little bit different. It's crafted with wheat, and it actually requires wheat to shoot. You'd think it would be like wool or something, but it's wheat. And whenever you shoot it, it shoots apparently a sheared sheep. It's a sheared baby sheep, and he does 4 damage, I think. So if we hit, 4 damage. Nice. Okay, so that's cool. Next up is the cat gun. The cat gun requires raw fish to craft and requires raw fish to shoot. And when you shoot it, it does quite a bit of damage. It does 10 damage, actually. So the cat gun's pretty good. If you get your hands on some raw fish, you could make a cat gun. Pretty damage worthy. So yeah, that's the cat gun. Next up is the squid gun. Squid gun is crafted with an ink sac, requires ink sacs to shoot, and it does 11 damage. It just shoots out like a hole almost. It's like a whole squid. He doesn't move or anything. What would be funny is if his legs were kind of just flailing around as you shoot him. That would be kind of funny. That would make the gun pretty fun. So, yeah, that is the squid gun. Next up is the mushroom gun. It requires mushroom stew to craft, and it requires it does 13 damage, which is a lot, because I guess mushroom stew requires multiple components to craft. So, yeah, it does 13 damage. So it pretty much kills most of anything in 1 hit. See that? Or a few hits anyways. Villagers in 2 hits. There we go. But anyways, yeah, that was the mushroom gun. Next up is the snowman gun. Get ready, guys. The snowman gun. Sounds so scary. Okay, yeah, it requires snowballs to craft and requires snowballs to shoot. but it does 7 damage. So, and it shoots a full snowman. Not even a snowman with a pumpkin face. I know the pumpkin is like on the gun, but it's literally just a snowman. He's got a little face. He's like, why'd you shoot me? But poor snowman. Okay, well, we're done with our passive friendly mobs. So that was them. Moving on to the hostile mobs. Our first hostile mob is a zombie gun, and it requires flesh to craft and flesh to shoot. So, yeah, it does 7 damage, and it shoots out a little baby zombie. And I think I just figured out, because I've been shooting these in different directions. Depending on the direction you face when you shoot it, the mob's body will face a different way. So if I shoot this way, he's always facing me. But if I shoot this way, he's like turned around. But for some reason, his head is like flipped 180 degrees, so I'm not too sure about that one. Next up is the skeleton gun. The skeleton gun is pretty awesome. It is crafted with arrows, not bones. Crafted with arrows, and it requires arrows to shoot. So yeah, it does 10 damage. 10 damage, quite of a lot. Because arrows, of course, are crafty. You have to craft them. So yeah, it shoots skeletons out, and it has a cool explosion effect. It has like bones or something. Not sure what those are. I think they're bones. But yeah, it does 10 damage, so that's pretty awesome. Next up is the creeper gun. This is one of the unique guns. It doesn't just do damage. It explodes, of course. But it requires gunpowder to craft, and it requires gunpowder to shoot. But when you shoot it, bam! It's like a missile. You can just explode things. So yeah, you can just shoot it, and apparently these entities disappear after so long. Like if I shoot, it disappeared, but it's probably gonna go forever. So, but yeah, if I shoot this, come on, what's happening? Oh, there we go. Okay, so yeah, this is a really fun gun. It just kind of explodes stuff. You can explode houses. Yeah, so I guess the entity still goes, as you can see it, but it'll just disappear, unfortunately. But it still works, so that's awesome. Next up is the spider gun. The spider gun is crafted with string. This one's a bit different, you guys. Crafted with string, but requires spider eyes to shoot. So, when you get your spider eyes, go ahead and shoot your spider gun. It does 10 damage, and it has a cool effect. It kind of has like a red trail. I honestly think all the guns should have a trail behind them like this spider does. Because it looks cool. It's a redstone trail, but it matches the spider, okay? And when he explodes, it shows spider eyes going everywhere, so that's fun. And that does 10 damage. So next is the slime gun. The slime gun is pretty cool. It requires, of course, slime balls to craft, and it will require slime balls to shoot. And since slime balls aren't the easiest thing to get nowadays, the slime gun does 12 damage. Does 12 damage. That's a lot. Like you wouldn't think a slime would do that much damage if it hit you, but it does. It does 12 damage. So it's a pretty good gun too. Next up is the Enderman Gun. It requires ender pearls to craft and ender pearls to shoot. And when you shoot it, it does 15 damage, of course, because ender pearls are beastly. And what are you looking at? Someone gives you a dirty look like that, you just shoot them with your Enderman gun twice, and they'll die. So, but upon explosion, there's a lot of ender pearl fragments flying everywhere. And it looks like this Enderman has a trail too, of course, because he's an Enderman. And it's like the Ender Trail, so that's cool, that has a trail too. Next is the blaze gun. It requires blaze powder to craft and blaze powder to shoot, and it does a whopping 17 damage upon impact. 17! And it has a fiery trail, too, so that's pretty great. So that's the blaze gun. It's awesome. I'm going to set the time to 0 so we can continue with our cool guns. Next is the wither skeleton gun. It requires, let's see, I think it requires bones to craft and bones to shoot. I know it's a little weird. It's not the other bones or anything. It's just regular bones. And it does 16 damage. So really doesn't even require a lot to craft, but does the most damage for what you're crafting. So that's awesome. So yeah, it does 16 damage, and that is the wither skeleton gun. But next up is the Silverfish Gun. This is the last of our hostile mobs. Then we're moving on to the YouTubers. The Silverfish Gun requires clay balls, or clay, to craft it. I don't know why it was clay balls. And then it requires clay to shoot as well. And it does 6 damage, so yeah, it's just a silverfish gun. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's kind of cool. Whoa, that one did 7 damage. So yeah, it does 6 to 7 damage, I guess. Because on the form it says 6, but apparently it does 7. Okay, moving on to our third group of guns. The first of the group is the Steve Gun. The Steve Gun requires apples to craft and apples to shoot. So it's got some damage on it. It's got 20 damage. I could kill one of these villagers in one hit if I wanted to. So you shoot it. It shoots a little Steve out. It's pretty awesome. It does 20 damage. That's quite a bit. If I could find another villager that isn't hurt already. There we go. Yeah, they die in one hit. So the Steve Gun's really good, of course. And yeah, it's awesome. So next up is the Villager Gun. The Villager Gun requires, I believe, books. Yeah, books to craft and books to shoot. And then it does 15 damage. And I guess it shoots out like what is that? Is that a regular villager or is he a big villager? I've never seen a big old villager like that before. He's a chunky villager. Hashtag chunky villager. So moving on, we got the first of the YouTuber guns. It's the iHas Cupquake gun. So this one actually requires cake to craft and cake to shoot. And it does a whopping 30 damage. 30 damage. You can pretty much kill anybody with this. It's got a great trail of hearts, of course. An iHas Cupquake trail of hearts. And yeah, it's just 30 damage. You can kill anything with this gun. This is a good gun. And then if I face this way, you can see her as she flies away. She's like, no. Anyways, she kills everything in about one hit. So the next gun here is the Sundy Gun. It requires gold to craft and gold to shoot. And, of course, when you shoot it, it's Sundy. Oh, wow. He kind of has a little explosion effect whenever he hits whatever. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, so he's got like a redstone trail, and then he's also got like a little explosion that happens. That's kind of fun. Anyways, that's a Sundy Gun. It does 30 damage as well. So next up is the Diamond Minecart Gun. It requires a diamond to craft and diamonds to shoot, and it does 50 damage. You don't have to worry about any mobs because Dan TDM will take care of them for you. But yeah, that's the Diamond Minecart Gun. And yeah, he's pretty awesome. So last but not least, we got the popular MMO's gun. This is crafted with a dragon egg. So it's a pretty costly gun to make. And I know what you're thinking. This better do all the damage in the world if I'm crafting it with a dragon egg. Which it does. It does probably the most damage ever. And by the way, it requires diamonds to shoot. But the amount of damage it does is 200. It does 200 damage. I think that's like more than enough to kill anything, just about. You could kill like Godzilla in just like a few bullets, probably. But yeah, anyways, this is popular MMOs. And he's got like a fire trail. And when he hits the ground, he kind of has like a fiery explosion. So, yeah, that's it. I mean, I don't know how to demonstrate this gun any more than just killing everything in one hit. Because it will. It will kill everything in one hit. But yeah, guys, that's about it for this mod. This was the Mob's Gun mod. I'm sure he's going to add more mob guns and more YouTubers probably. But make sure you go check out the mod yourself. Download it if you want to download it. And tell him I sent you. But other than that, leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. Let's try and get 2,000 likes for this video. But other than that, I will talk to you stars later, and see you guys.